I would like to talk about creativity, the many pitfalls and traps that people fall into when they think about their own creativity. And I've been a student of creativity for the past 10 years, and I have three key lessons that I want to convey to you in order for you to master creativity. It's not a quick process by any means, but why is creativity so important? Well, I used to think that creativity was a feature you either had or you didn't have. Like you were born with it. Like it was your natural way of thinking. I used to look at pieces of art or some drawing somebody made, whether it was on the internet or friends, and I would be like, damn, I could never have that kind of an idea. But I didn't see this as a process, this artist's way of going through the motions through several steps to get to the point that I've seen. I only see the final result. And I feel like in culture, we look at that quite often, where we see somebody succeeding, achieving something, and we think it's an overnight success, when in reality, it might have taken them a long time to get to the point that you are seeing. So I looked at art and felt envious for people's talent and their ideas, but I don't know if I should have been. So why is it important? Einstein used creativity to come up with a theory of relativity. Steve Jobs or the employees at Apple use creativity to create beautiful products that are amazing to use. Salvador Dali had created amazing works of art that might make you think about certain things so deeply that it might change the way you actually think about the world. Creativity drives innovation, it drives culture. I feel like it's essential to who we are as human beings. So I want to spread the word that creativity is a thing that you can learn. And that is my first step of the 3 steps that I wanted to tell you. Creativity is something you can learn. In fact, creativity is something you can also do right away. Because whether you make a meal for your family, you are creating something, right? And you go to a restaurant, and a chef is especially creative because they might combine things in unique ways that you've never even heard about. It's insane. So if you're aware of this, you can use this to your advantage, and it helps you to think through and solve problems. And it helps you with open-mindedness. It's incredibly satisfying to create something and see the effects of your creation. It's the actions that lead to the making, the actions in the making might not all be satisfying, but when you see the final project come alive and you see it as one big piece, and you see that you've made it come alive, there is, in my opinion, nothing or seldom satisfying as that. So, creativity is a cycle. So that's step number 2. That's the second step to learning creativity. It's a cycle. So it's a cycle also that is an upward spiral, because creativity actually is something that breeds more creativity. You realize that when you create, it leads to more ideas because you learn a little bit. You go through a cycle, and then you realize what you could change a little bit, and then the next time you make it, you change it a little bit more, because it's constantly breeding upon itself. So instead of saving your ideas, your best ideas for the right moment, it makes sense to spend those ideas, to make them right now, to make the best version that you can right now in order to get new ideas in the future. So it is a upward spiral. And the third step to being better at creativity, to sparking more creativity into your work, into your life, and it comes from combining many things. There's a quote, I don't know if it's correctly attributed to Picasso, but they say it's from Pablo Picasso. Good artists copy, great artists steal. So initially you might copy somebody that you look up to and you copy their work exactly. But then eventually you'll find the next mentor or somebody that you want to copy. And then you copy that person, and then you copy the next person, and you copy the next person. And all of a sudden you create an upward spiral into a combination of all of those things that is uniquely yours. So you can study the world around you. You can look at nature and get inspired by nature. You can look at previously made art and generate more art from it. Leonardo da Vinci had been such a breakthrough painter as a result of studying human bodies and the way they are shaped and then the way they are moved. You know, photographers or painters also study the way light works in nature, and then they try and replicate it and maneuver it to their own liking. So you can get inspired with everything around you. But not only that, you can combine the previous work from your mentors and from your surrounding and then gain inspiration from your surroundings to create something that is uniquely yours. And so that's how you do it. The 3 steps are: number 1, realize that creativity can be learned. It's not something that you do or don't have. You can have it as soon as you realize you can have it, and then you can learn it. Number 2, realize that it's a cycle. You might not be great at coming up with great ideas at the start, but the more ideas you come up with, the more ideas you come up with, and the better your ideas get. And number 3, get inspired from people who inspire you, from your surroundings, from art that inspires you, from work that inspires you, and combine all of those things to make the work uniquely yours. I want to finalize this video on a quote. And the quote is, "Creativity is the focused combination of unlikely things. Your mind locks onto a certain element and then searches widely for something unexpected that fits with it. What can scuba diving teach you about agriculture? What can trees teach you about public speaking? There is always some connective tissue between disciplines. If you wish to be more creative, look for the connections between 2 previously unconnected things." This idea comes from James Clear. See what I did there? Bye.